What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's video. Today we're talking all about money and wealth and how I believe to be the best way to grow your wealth as a software engineer. There's a lot more to growing and generating wealth than just increasing your salary. Because if you work in tech, especially software engineering, this is typically not the best way to make a lot of money over time. And in fact, your best bet for generating a lot of wealth over time comes from your equity, not your salary. Today I'm going to show you guys what exactly I mean by this, and I'm going to show you some examples of how your equity can grow over time and become substantially more money compared to your base salary. And with that said, let's get into it. So in the software engineering industry, there is a website that is rather well known. It is called levels.fyi. This website consists of basically a ton of self-reported data for software engineering salaries and compensation across tons and tons of companies. And if you're looking to research salaries or compensation at a company that you're thinking about applying to, this is probably a good place to go. If you're a software engineer or in the tech field, I would probably suggest looking here over looking somewhere like Glassdoor. So first of all, here's a quick overview for people who are not familiar with this website. Basically, you can come here and you can say, oh, I want to see what somebody makes at Google. Here is the total compensation breakdown for an L3 at Google. L3 at Google would essentially be like an entry-level position here, probably like 0 to 2 years of experience. You can see their total estimated compensation. You can see that broken down into their salary of $137,000 a year on average, their average annual stock grants, and their average annual bonuses. You can also come in and view various data points here across all the different roles. Again, you can see the breakdown. You can see it in some nice fancy charts. Down here, you can see individual reported salaries for what their specific roles are, their years of experience, and again, compensation breakdowns. You can filter this by location and lots of other variables. So getting back on topic here, how do you leverage your position as a software engineer to make the most money possible? If you were trying to become a millionaire as a software engineer, essentially.
I'm ready for me money.
This is not typically done by your base salary. The most common way that people become wealthy as software engineers is through their stock grants. So essentially what you're looking for is to work at a company that grants a very good amount of stock as part of your total compensation offer. But you also want to be sure that that company is in a position to grow, because you want the value of that stock to increase, preferably a lot. But what you definitely don't want it to do is to go down, right? Now, there's a lot of companies that give large stock grants that are pretty stable companies, right? Like Google, for example, as an L3, you can expect probably roughly this on average as your annual stock grant. Again, you can see that varies by offer. Somebody here got apparently $99,000 a year in stock grants, but this person got $33K. So if we look at Google stock price here, we can see that over the last 5 years, it is up roughly $1,700 or 203%. That's a very good return on your stock there, but maybe you can do better. So let's look at Tesla as an example. So for our example here, we're going to use Tesla stock. Now, we're going to make a couple assumptions here because some companies do this differently and I don't know how Tesla does theirs. We're going to assume that Tesla will give you $28,571 worth of stock per year in your stock grant based on the stock price at the time that you were hired. I'm basing it this way because while the company that I work for is not public, this is kind of how my stock units work. I can purchase them at the price that I was given at the time that I was hired. Regardless of when I purchase them, that price will not increase. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to calculate approximately how much you would make off of this stock grant based on the price that you were hired at roughly 3 years ago. If you were given this amount of stock every year over the course of 3 years, what that would be worth right now. So we're going to take this value right here, $28,571. The price of Tesla stock roughly 3 years ago was $63.54. So we're going to, where's the divide button? Divide by 63.54, right? So roughly 449 shares of Tesla stock per year. So we'll take this, multiply this by 3, So over the course of 3 years, you could expect to receive roughly, give or take, 1,348 shares of Tesla stock. Based on that value at the price of the stock when you were hired. Now, if we take this value, right, and multiply this by the dollar amount of Tesla's value today, $927.40, times $927.40, this is worth substantially more money now, as you can see. I mean, if you think about just the exponential growth of that stock over the last 3 years, right? So it was worth roughly $28,571 a year to start with, times 3. That's $85,000 total value of your initial stock grant. And then you look at what that becomes over the course of 3 years, $1.25 million based on today's stock price. Today's January 25th of 2022. That is how you become a millionaire in software engineering. And it's not as easy as it sounds to do. Like, you can't just like go get a job at a company like that grants stock and expect to become rich out of it. Like, there really is so much luck involved in working for a company whose stock just blows up. It either has to be a very, very high growth company with a lot of room for upward potential, or a company like, Tesla, who's been around a long time, but they've had exponential growth in the last couple years. But you also have to take into account volatility. Tesla is definitely one of those companies where the stock can be rather volatile because, we've all seen in the past, all it really takes is a tweet from a certain somebody to, not necessarily manipulate, but to alter that stock price quite drastically. So that's something that you have to take into account too. There's always risk and there's not always stability. So, there's always a chance that your stock value can go up or down. So just as well as you can make substantial compensation out of these stock grants, you're also just as likely to lose compensation. Your total compensation can go down, just as well as it can go up if that stock price falls. So it's something to keep in the back of your mind, that it's never a guarantee, but this is definitely one of the top ways to generate wealth as a software engineer. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching today's video. If you found today's video helpful, please be sure to hit the like button down below to help other people find this video and find my content. I would really appreciate it. If you don't already, also please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notifications so that you get notified when I post new content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.